How to overcome fear and anxiety. What if today could be the day you finally begin to break free from the prison of fear and anxiety? Imagine waking up tomorrow with a newfound sense of calm and confidence, not because your challenges have disappeared, but because you've discovered the inner strength to face them head-on. That journey begins right here, right now. Fear and anxiety. These twin forces have held back dreams, stifled potential, and robbed countless individuals of their joy and peace. Yet what appears as an immovable wall to some becomes merely a stepping stone to others. The difference isn't in the challenges we face, but in how we respond to them. Today, we're exploring practical, powerful strategies that have helped thousands reclaim their lives from the grasp of fear and anxiety. These aren't quick fixes or temporary solutions. They're transformative practices that can fundamentally change your relationship with fear. Let's begin this journey together. First, we must understand what's really happening in our minds and bodies when fear takes hold. Fear isn't just an emotion. It's a complex physiological response designed to protect us. When your brain perceives a threat, it floods your body with stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, triggering that familiar fight or flight response. Your heart races, your breathing quickens, your muscles tense. This response served our ancestors well when facing physical dangers, but in today's world, our fears are often psychological rather than physical. Fears of failure, rejection, uncertainty, or loss. The problem isn't the fear response itself. It's that this powerful survival mechanism often activates in situations where it isn't helpful. When chronic anxiety takes hold, your brain can essentially get stuck in this heightened state of alertness, leaving you exhausted, overwhelmed, and unable to think clearly. Understanding this process is the first step toward regaining control. Now, let's explore 7 powerful strategies that can help you break free from the cycle of fear and anxiety. The first strategy is to practice conscious breathing. When anxiety strikes, our breathing becomes shallow and rapid, reinforcing the body's stress response. By deliberately slowing and deepening your breath, you send a powerful signal to your nervous system that you're safe. Try this right now. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 2. Then exhale through your mouth for a count of 6. Feel the difference even 3 cycles of this breathing can make in your body. In moments of intense anxiety, this simple practice can be an anchor, bringing you back to the present moment and creating space between you and your fear. The second strategy involves challenging your thought patterns. Our minds are masterful storytellers, often crafting worst-case scenarios and presenting them as inevitable truths. When anxious thoughts arise, learn to question them. Is this thought based on facts or assumptions? What evidence contradicts this fear? What would I tell a friend who shared this worry with me? This practice of cognitive restructuring doesn't eliminate fear, but it helps you see it for what it truly is. Not an accurate prediction of reality, but simply one possible interpretation among many. Our third approach is gradual exposure to what frightens you. Avoidance may provide temporary relief, but it ultimately strengthens fear's grip on your life. Instead, create a ladder of challenges, starting with situations that trigger mild anxiety and gradually working toward more difficult scenarios. Each step you take up this ladder builds confidence and teaches your brain that you can survive discomfort. Remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite it. The fourth strategy recognizes the power of physical movement. When anxiety builds up in your body, physical activity provides a natural release valve. Exercise reduces stress hormones while increasing endorphins and other mood-enhancing neurotransmitters. Find movement that feels good to you, whether that's an intense workout, a gentle walk in nature, or a dance session in your living room. The goal isn't perfection or performance, but simply allowing your body to process and release the physical tension that accompanies fear. Our fifth approach focuses on the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. Many of us unknowingly carry limiting beliefs like, "I'm just an anxious person," or "I can't handle stress." These stories become self-fulfilling prophecies that keep us trapped. Begin rewriting your narrative by acknowledging your resilience. Reflect on past challenges you've overcome and recognize the strength those experiences have built in you. Remind yourself daily, I am growing stronger. I am learning to work with my fears rather than being controlled by them. The sixth strategy brings us to the healing power of connection. Anxiety thrives in isolation, convincing us that we alone struggle with these feelings. Break this illusion by sharing your experience with trusted others, whether friends, family, or a professional counselor. Being witnessed in your vulnerability not only provides emotional relief, but offers new perspectives on challenges that seem insurmountable when faced alone. Remember that seeking support isn't weakness. It's a courageous acknowledgement of our shared humanity. Our seventh and perhaps most transformative approach is practicing radical acceptance. Much of our anxiety stems from resistance, fighting against reality instead of working with it. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or giving up. Rather, it means acknowledging what is true in this moment so you can respond effectively rather than react blindly. When you feel fear arising, try saying, "This feeling is uncomfortable, but it cannot harm me. I can feel this fear and still take the next right step." Beyond these 7 strategies lies an essential truth about overcoming fear and anxiety. Progress isn't linear. There will be setbacks along this path, moments when old fears resurface or new anxieties emerge. These aren't failures, they're opportunities to practice compassion toward yourself and recommit to the practices that support your growth. Think of managing anxiety as similar to tending a garden. You don't plant seeds one day and harvest the next. There are seasons of growth and seasons of apparent dormancy. There are storms that may damage what you've cultivated. The difference between a successful gardener and an unsuccessful one isn't that the successful one never faces challenges. It's that they keep showing up, day after day, doing the small actions that ultimately yield transformation. Remember too that fear itself isn't the enemy. Fear is simply information, sometimes alerting us to genuine danger, other times reflecting old wounds or future concerns that exist only in our imagination. The goal isn't to eliminate fear entirely, but to develop a new relationship with it. One where fear can be present without becoming the dominant force in your decision-making. Many who have walked this path of transformation find that their experience with anxiety, once integrated and understood, becomes a source of unexpected gifts. Former anxiety sufferers often develop remarkable empathy for others' struggles. They cultivate presence and mindfulness out of necessity. They learn to distinguish between productive and unproductive worry, channeling their natural tendency to anticipate problems into creative problem-solving instead. As we come to the close of our time together, I invite you to consider what one small step you might take today toward a different relationship with fear and anxiety. Perhaps it's setting aside 5 minutes for conscious breathing. Maybe it's reaching out to schedule that first appointment with a therapist you've been considering. It could be simply acknowledging to yourself that you're ready for change. Whatever that step is, remember that the journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath your feet, right where you stand. You don't need to see the entire path to take the first step. You simply need the willingness to begin. The truth is, you've already demonstrated courage by engaging with this conversation about fear and anxiety. That willingness to look directly at what challenges you is the foundation of all meaningful change. And while the path toward freedom from anxiety may not always be easy, I can promise you this: it is worth every step. You were born for more than living small, constrained by fear's invisible boundaries. You were made for growth, for connection, for contributing your unique gifts to this world. And as you gradually loosen anxiety's grip on your life, you'll discover capacities within yourself that fear has long obscured. Resilience you didn't know you had, creativity that surprises you, and a profound ability to be present for both life's joys and challenges. The question now isn't whether you can overcome fear and anxiety. Countless others with challenges similar to yours have walked this path before you. The real question is, who will you become in the process of reclaiming your freedom? What doors will open when fear no longer stands guard? What dreams might come alive when anxiety no longer whispers, "You can't"? Today marks a new beginning. Take a deep breath, feel your feet on the ground, and remember, you are stronger than your fears. And with each small, brave step forward, that strength will only grow. Your journey to freedom begins now.